Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. We have Blackrock's Larry Fink. What did he tell us, guys? He's going to be tokenizing the assets and putting them on blockchain. Real world assets. And now he's teamed up with H-Bar and others. And those who are part of my Patreon, you know, H-Bar is one of my NWO tokens. You should already hedge your bag, and you should be riding it on up. I think H-Bar highest with, 56 cents, so it still has a ways to go. But guys, you have to understand the plan. Remember, what I do is I get you ready for the plan. Only thing you got to do is ride it. You don't have to do a lot of work. Just ride it, guys. Ride it with me. But we're clearly seeing the plan come together. And it's not just BlackRock, it's the major big corporations and the major big banks. They're all integrating this technology. It's just sprinkling it on in, slowly but surely. While the sheep sleep, the NWO builds. And that's the reason why the patrons are so important. So therefore, you stay up to date. And like I told you, now that the halving is over, now what we're going to have is we're going to have news, we're going to have partnerships, where we're going to get these pumps and dumps. Because remember, the Fed is going to start pulling liquidity, so we will be moving down. But again, news, listings will get us these pumps and dumps. And then, guys, in order for the NWO to keep moving the agenda, we know they have to have distractions. And now we have Biden, which he did 8 months ago. I think it was July 2023, is in the video. They were talking about declaring a climate emergency. Now they're just coming right back to it. And we know what the climate agenda is for. That's the reason why they no longer want you driving. That's the reason why they want the 15-minute cities. If they're going to give you free money, they want to control you. Remember, universal basic income is the solution. If I'm going to bring in the robots, algorithms, and drones to take over the economy and give you free money to sit at home, I just can't let you do whatever. I have to control you, and that's what the metaverse is for. But remember, guys, this is biblical. Someone hit me in my Patreon talking about AI, the wording. If you just look at the words, you can clearly see the devil's tricks. We know AI is in the Bible, guys. Unfortunately, most people don't read it, or they don't even know how to read it. But that's in my new book. I'm not going to go too much on that. But just remember, the NWO just need one more crisis to get us over to the digital economy. All this technology is ready to go. It's been ready to go for about 20 years, been tested for 10 years. We know in crypto, it's definitely ready. The whole financial system is ready to be integrated with these digital assets. But then on top of it, the robots, algorithms, and drones are also been tested and ready to go. They just need that crisis to get us moved over. And we know how they like to do it. Either dangle the carrot or hit you with the sticks. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Next catalyst you see?
Well, I mean, it's what we've seen. Bitcoin had record fees during this halving because a lot of what we call layer 2 technologies, the idea of building on Bitcoin. If you've heard of Ethereum, it's all the other applications that had moved away from Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is back and delivering smart functionality, NFT functionality, meme technologies. All of these things are now being built on top of Bitcoin for the first time since almost a decade ago. And so in anticipation of that, record fees as people are trying to get in to be the first on having all these new things that are being built on top of Bitcoin. Very exciting. And I'm happy with the price. Remember, people buy the rumor and sell on the news. So we were at $20,000, call it, earlier this year. We had a record high. Usually there's a bit of a sell-off leading to the actual event, hence the news. And we're in a very good position. Very bullish on Bitcoin right now. Well, nothing that I've seen in terms of these are regulated vehicles. They're all required to be the best in breed, best practices. Mm-hmm. This is no longer the Wild West, and remember the Wild West became California, but this is kind of like BCAD. Once the SEC approved these spot Bitcoin ETFs, This is now institutional, it's regulated, and it is here to stay, and the retail public can now safely invest. It's not like it used to be. You don't have to worry about losing your Bitcoin as you did for so long, though we still have a motto we like to live by, which is not your keys, not your coins, meaning once you've learned and you've been in the ETF markets for a long time, please take the time to educate yourself on how to hold Bitcoin for yourself and be your own custodian.
You advised El Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele back just a couple of years ago when he was quite a forward thinker. Some said absolutely crazy. And what he did was he allowed the country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. It's been a good chunk of time here. Can you open the window into how that is going? Are people using it in El Salvador to pay for things?
Yeah, well, a few things happened. One, President Bukele went from a head of state to a world leader. The future favors the bold. Fortune favors the bold. And a lot of amazing things have come from that. But at the time, only 30% of the population of El Salvador was banked. The Chivo wallet and the government incentive to give free Bitcoin to everyone that registered caused from 30% financial inclusion to 70% financial inclusion within 12 months. I'd say that's flipping the script in terms of driving accessibility for those that don't have access to financial tools, where we as Americans are so blessed and often take for granted.
Brock, what's your outlook? I always love to ask you this for Bitcoin and the price of it in the next, let's just say, year.
Well, I think there's a very good chance that I think it's likely we'll see north of 100,000. I think 150,000 is probably a reasonable target at some point this year. And long term, it's a million or more. It's a binary outcome. Bitcoin goes either to zero, not really, or over a million, unless, something happens. So it's really binary in terms of what will happen over time. And so I'm bullish. I definitely advise everyone to go out and buy at least $100, $50, $20 of Bitcoin if you've never done it before, or put just a little bit in your retail brokerage account so that you can begin learning. I don't encourage people to invest in things other than themselves. Take the time to be informed so you can make informed decisions for yourself.
White House telling Fox Business it's now considering declaring a national climate emergency. But that's a climate crisis to you, Mark. The AP, which sets the standards for newsrooms across the country, they're urging Americans to use the term climate crisis to address the current situation. This is all troubling, but if the president declares a climate emergency, what impact does that have?
I mean, this is the serious story of the day. NBC News has reported that if Joe Biden declares a national climate emergency, he would have COVID-like powers under that emergency. And they also compared the emergency powers to the 9/11 emergency powers. The Center for Biological Diversity has estimated Joe Biden would get about 130 wartime-like powers by which to bypass democracy and impose the Green New Deal on America without a single vote of Congress. This is truly this is a Halloween story, not a story for Earth Day. This is a truly frightening story, and he might just be desperate enough to do it. This is being widely reported in the media. The Biden White House is leaking this out. This might happen, and this is going to give Joe Biden these kind of, you want to say the word dictatorial powers. He doesn't need no stinking democracy to impose the Green New Deal if he does this.
And guys, I told you, have fun 2024. But it looks like I have to change that. Just have a little fun 2024, because it looks like they're speeding things up. Get in the lab. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you.
The White House is considering declaring a national climate emergency to unlock federal powers and stifle oil development. That's according to Bloomberg.
I wanted to know if you had any updates on if President Biden is willing to declare a climate emergency. There's been more push from progressive lawmakers and activists for him to do that.
So I don't have anything new to share there. As you know,
going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, And then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
very much a traditionalist. I like staying with the dollar. You know that from when I was there. It's make the dollar the choice. I hate when countries go off the dollar. I would not allow countries to go off the dollar, because when we lose that standard, that will be like losing a revolutionary war. That will be a hit to our country, just like losing a war. And we can't let that happen. And too many countries now are fighting to get off the dollar. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.